you, baby.
You know about lawsuits.
You got good segues.
Why don't you explain to me about the lawsuit that I don't know about?
You didn't know
I'm just
about
trying to
my
impress you
lawsuit?
so you can develop a show for us and get us paid.
You don't know
I'm
about my-
smart. You got to bring the right people on your show. You can't just have anybody on your shit. Nah.
I feel like I've arrived.
No,
Thank you for having me.
But how do
Thank
you know what I'm saying? Talk to me about that.
You know, so that was 2005, right? So
What was
like
2005?
my lawsuit. My lawsuit. And you know, when I sued The Source, it was for harassment, gender discrimination,
You wasn't fucking
defamation.
Because you
First
was
of all,
young.
that's what
you
we're
was
not
young,
gonna do.
You was young
Hold
and
on
you
a
was
second.
and you was Puerto
No.
Rican and Chinese and black and all this. You wasn't fucking in there.
And all the rappers liked you.
I know niggas was trying to hit that. What?
Yeah, a
What
lot
we
of
talking
rappers liked you.
No,
And they still
no,
do.
no.
What are we talking about? Are we gonna be for real or we gonna be
I'm
some
always
fake?
be real.
Is this reality show or is this real show?
No. Like, let's talk about fucking. Let's talk about it. Right? Let's talk about it if y'all want to talk about. Because here's my first question. Do y'all do this to the men that come up here? If you say yes, okay.
We just did it with the
right,
R&B.
'cause don't do it.
Bianca, do we give niggas hell on this show or not?
It's always because
So we
when
ain't
you
gotta talk about fucking.
Yeah.
No, let's not talk
That's
about
fine.
it, Kim.
We
I'm
can talk
sorry.
about-
No. A Chinese lady can attack me, and it's gonna be perceived differently. But when we ask her about
That's
fucking that
right.
she did 20
No,
years
because
ago,
listen.
it's foul.
let me say what I did do 20 years ago.
Okay.
Enlighten.
I don't know, Kim. So you know what I'm saying?
He really don't know.
I really
know,
don't
but
know.
Let me tell you what I was.
I'm being real quiet.
Damn.
I owned what I did at all points, right?
Got you.
If you look at now the landscape of how people interact, and when you meet people, women and men meet each other in this space, and they date and they do what they do, it's all good, right? In 2000 to 2003, whenever I was at The Source, right, it was always a secret for
What?
women.
Okay.
Got you.
Women felt like they could not own what they did. And I was just tell you straight
couldn't.
up.
You couldn't.
Like, everybody's always concerned with what a woman does with her pussy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, right? It's nobody's business.
That's true.
And when I was at The Source, I think people, I'm all right. So I like to think of myself like this,
Oh,
right?
she's good.
I'm a
We
hard,
almost done, yo. We almost done.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we
now
about
we
to.
not done.
I got one more question
I
for
like
her.
to be I like to consider myself as someone very hard to get, right? Now, that
Pressure.
doesn't mean you can't, that doesn't mean that you can't meet me, right? And
Take you to the bathroom real quick.
can't do that. See that? You can't do that.
I was
Can't
just
do
saying, I
that.
thought you was going there. I'm sorry.
You're not spicy?
No. Because there are some men who are very manipulative, or they try to get at you for different reasons, right? And I was young and, fascinated with, I think, my position, right? And
You was feeling yourself. Nothing wrong with that.
No. I'm always feeling myself.
Ooh,
I'm always
that's the
feeling
Puerto
myself.
Rican in you.
Here we go. I'm always feeling myself.
Let's go,
But I
Kim.
think back then I was young, right? So I didn't understand why certain people, sorry, I have the emergency bypass for the kids. So I didn't understand why certain people were trying to get at me.
They
right?
wanted the 5 mics.
Less about the 5 mics and more
Status?
about their ego and the status of knocking somebody down.
I'm about
right?
to say, you know what it'd be like to bend her over doggy
Listen,
style and
but
she's in
that's
the
what you-
Source
don't do
and
that.
I'm a rapper?
But this is right.
Yeah,
up.
niggas
But
gonna be
hold
up.
on.
That's leverage, Kim.
I'm up.
That's
what are you
leverage.
talking about?
That's real
No,
shit.
You
listen.
see that girl writing on the article? I'm hitting
That pretty
Right,
girl
but
that
that's-
gives the 5 mics. Oh, word.
I'm
Give that
dump-
nigga. Yo, Kim, you know how stupid that
I'm
sounds?
dumping down.
Somebody might give him a budget, rappers might have got another album deal.
Because a lot of artists are so consumed with themselves and their ego
That's true.
that's what it's about. Right? And that's what I think. And it wasn't just me at The Source. Let's cut that narrative out, right?
So what was the narrative?
It was a lot of women in positions of power. So a lot of men and a lot of high profile men wanted to knock down the woman who was in a position of power. And I happened to
absolutely.
be in a position of power
That's how
at
I
that
got
time.
on.
Yeah.
And let me say, it wasn't easy. So you know if there was ever anything, you had to put in that work.
What you saying?
to get
You're picky.
They
That's all
don't,
you saying. That's it?
but see,
I ain't mad at that.
And I told him the truth about me since we spitting truth.
Right.
How I made it in the music business was fucking the right girl.
But that's
But it's the same situation as if I met you, right? Not fucking her to get a position.
Right.
I just happened to be fucking the right girl to the point that she was like, I fuck with him. He's straight up. I know niggas that manage. I'm going to put you with them. I'm going to give you a publishing deal for your songwriters. Although they don't have any placements, I believe in them. Rock Wilder needs a manager. I'm going to put you with Rock. This is what it was, whether people like it or not. Jessica Rivera was a publisher, right? She took time with me to say, I'm taking meetings with her and I'm playing beats. Hey, yo, Randy, come in here. Let me talk to you real quick. You ain't gonna make no money doing this. You gotta come in here with songs. Women had the power at that time.
But I think it's for men and women, it was different back then. And I think a lot of women felt like they had to protect their reputation, right, in order to continue to advance themselves in their career. Right? I was very open if there was ever a situation, right? And there was a lot of shit going on, let me just say this. But I was very open back then where I always felt like I had this chip on my shoulder, like I'm good at what I do. I know what I do. Don't ask me no questions about who I'm with or what I'm doing, because it's none of your business. And that was my position. That's what a lot of women, I think, have nowadays, right? Like, you can't really say the things that were said to me back then now to a woman. It's like, oh my God. But back then, the minute I decided to file a lawsuit, there was a lot of stones thrown at, like, well, she was involved with certain people. And you could not do that today. You could not. So I had to deal with a lot as a young woman, right? With all that pressure. Right. Because this was before Me Too. This was before people, it was like, you don't sue, you don't do that. I was like, oh no, yes, I do.
Did you unofficially have the first Me Too lawsuit in hip hop?
I don't know if it was the first, because a lot of people went through things in hip hop, right? A lot of people are standing up for the things they went through back then. Now, I back then was like, I'm only 20-something years old, but this ain't right. I'm not scared. I'm going to do this. I'm going to speak up for myself. And there wasn't a lot of people that stood behind me on that. But there were people, but not a lot.
But here's where people will give you a different level of respect. You did it in a short time frame from what the perception is. I don't know what the real, but it's still a short time.
Right.
Where people are having issues now is people waiting 20, 30 years. And they're like, if it was really an issue, why didn't you go right away? So as a person who went through that, give both perspectives.
I mean, everybody, has to go through things in their own time, right? And that they're talking about that window that was open for people, that new law, right? Yeah. Where they have until a certain date to file this stuff, right? And I don't know what another woman's personal trauma might be if they haven't spoken up for themselves in 20 years. Because I did it back then. I was like, I'm the type of person, no, I can't live in the past like that. I can't be sitting around like, oh my God, they hurt me 20 years ago. I just can't do that. Like, I have to move on, right? But, I'm sure everyone everybody is on their own journey. And I'm sure women, maybe they held it in for so long and now they have to speak up about it. I don't really know too much specifically about
the other
that particular law, and I mean, I would have to read up more on it. But everybody has their own.
A lot of people doing money grabs. That's the perception of it.
Every situation is different. So I have seen some where I'm definitely like a razor eyebrow, like now.
And then there's some we could be like, I think he did that.